What's up, everybody? It's Houston Mallette, back with another video with Hanging with Huey. Once again, thank you to StudioPlace for this opportunity. This is a crazy experience. I'm here with Max Scharnowski from Alabama men's basketball, and we're here to talk about what kind of this Players Era tournament we're in. And this is kind of a cool and unique episode because we're out here in Vegas shooting this podcast episode, so it should be a lot of fun. So here's Max Scharnowski. And Max, tell us a little bit about yourself. What kind of got you into basketball?
I'm a grad student from Chicago, and what got me into basketball was just my family. My dad played professional basketball in Germany, so I always grew up playing basketball. It was really the only sport I really got into. And then I've got an older brother who obviously played, and then I got a younger brother who's at Belmont who played. So we just play in the driveway pretty much every day of my life growing up, and that's how I got into basketball. That's why I'm playing.
That's awesome. So obviously, we know like you're a walk-on here at University of Alabama. So what's kind of like that experience like being a walk-on, and like what does that mean to you?
Oh yeah, it's good. I've really enjoyed my time as a walk-on. It's really a different role because it's not all about what you contribute on the court. There's so much more to it. Whereas you always got to make sure that you're adding to practice, you're adding to the guys, you're being a good teammate and a good leader. You can never take away from the energy or the team. Otherwise, there's not really a reason for you to be there. Obviously, you have to be able to match the level of play. You got to be able to step in for a practice and a rep and be able to contribute. But it's less about you being able to take over or really go at and challenge guys with your skill as much as it is to be an everyday guy and be able to match the effort and willingness to want to play.
Mm-hmm. Well, for those out there, Max is one of the best people I've ever met in my life, one of the funniest guys I've ever met, and he provides a ton of value to like not just me and my life, but our team. He means a lot to the organization of Alabama men's basketball, and he's a stable piece. So you've been here, this is your 5th year now. Talk to me about kind of what it's been like here. Like obviously you played for a lot of great teams, played with like a lot of great players. What is like some of your favorite experiences you've had so far being here?
Oh, I would have to say, well, first of all, I want to thank you for what you said about me. I don't know if I'm one of the most important people or not, but
no, you definitely are.
Man, the Final Four, that was incredible. When you think about, you go from the 20,000 fan arenas and thinking like, wow, this is a massive arena, and the like depth perception of it and everything is super off. I would just imagine for like the guys who are really getting in there how challenging it is to play in an environment like that. And then you go to playing in an NFL stadium, like the biggest NFL stadiums, and there's 90, 100,000 people in there.
Yeah.
And it's, 500 feet through the backboard to the first fans. I don't know how you do it. It was incredible. You're playing up on the elevated court. It's so loud in there. You can't hear anything. And it's probably the most incredible sporting event I've ever gone to. And obviously being at Alabama for my whole undergrad, you see all the Bama football games and you realize like, well, it's even more than that. But it's the reason why there's so many people who go to the Final Four every year who love basketball. It's one of the biggest events in basketball.
Yeah. No, that's nuts. Kind of talk to me about that journey, because I remember I came on my visit after you guys lost to Florida, and like that was a super tough loss in the SEC tournament. I remember sitting there on Selection Sunday, because I haven't gone to the NCAA tournament in my college career yet. Obviously will this year. So being in there with you guys for Selection Sunday was super cool. And like I remember seeing kind of everybody's faces light up when we saw like what region you guys were gonna be in and what the matchups were. So what was that like?
No, they all, I think everybody liked it and was super motivated, because obviously we started in, I think it was Spokane.
Yeah.
And they knew if we just rattle off those 2 games, which were hard games, Charleston, we were just talking about it. They were a really good team last year. 30 wins.
Yeah.
And then GCU, like they have high major talent at the mid-major level, and they play really hard and really well together. So when we won those first 2 games and were able to go to LA, I think that was the motivation for everybody. And then once you're in LA, you're right there, 2 games, and you're at the Final Four. So we definitely went through some rough patches last year, but it was kind of like some of the senior leaders who kept the team together, kept everybody going. And even with conflict that happened last year, you know, the group of teammates was incredible, and we all loved each other and pulled for each other so much that it doesn't surprise me that we figured it out. It's kind of just a story of, you know, keeping your head focused, lifting up each other and not giving up, because there was injuries last year, there was conflict, there was drama, but you know, as the season went on, we got better, and other teams, that's not the story for every team. A lot of teams get worse as you go on or plateau. We were fortunate enough to have like a high level of desperation at the end. We had a lot of guys who you know, it was their last game for Alabama, who wanted to win so bad. So that's what kept us going, I think.
That's dope. Obviously, you were awarded with an award at the Final Four. Tell the viewers about that.
I won it was the Elite 90 award. It's like I think highest GPA in the tournament, or maybe highest GPA in Final Four. So I don't want to say it was kind of an easy award for me to win, but I do pretty good at school, and I don't know if everybody in the Final Four of the tournament does as well as me. So
Definitely.
it was a good award to win, but obviously I would have rather won the whole thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of, you know, I didn't really celebrate it or anything. It's sitting on a shelf somewhere in my house.
Well, no, I mean, that's big time. Obviously, like, this is your last year playing basketball. And for those who don't know, like, Max had the opportunity, well, I'll let him kind of talk about it, but he had the opportunity this year to go do something, but he decided to come back to Alabama for another year to be a part of something special. So what is it that, like, you're planning to do, like, after basketball?
Yeah, well, at the end of last year, I missed like playing. You know, being a walk-on is a great opportunity, but you know, there's constantly great players coming in and out of the program, and you know, when guys are leaving and they're getting replaced with like players like you, it's really hard to get on the court. And you know, my goal was never to get on the court here as much as it was to just contribute to a championship and winning. But obviously over time you miss basketball like a lot, in terms of, you know, last year there was some injuries and whatnot that happened during the season, so there'd be streaks of practice where I would really practice for like a week and a half, 2 weeks, and then, you know, that person gets healthy, which is what you want. I never thought of it like selfishly, like, oh, I don't get to practice anymore. I would 100% prefer for my teammates to be healthy. Like that's the main, like, nothing would make me more upset than somebody not being able to play, just because I know like that's what guys want for their careers, to play basketball. But I missed it, so I got in the portal trying to go to school with my younger brother who goes to Belmont, and I always knew that it would be one of those things, you know, if they had a scholarship left, maybe they would give it to me, maybe not. And you know, I'm probably not good enough to be on that level.
No, you for sure definitely good enough, especially coming from mid-major level.
But so anyways, you know, it didn't work out, and it wasn't even upsetting, but it was like, all right, you know, let's pivot and see what I'm going to do, because I want to go to med school, but with, you know, like with all the commitment that was like basketball and travel and school, obviously, you know, I took school pretty serious, and I studied a decent amount. So it was difficult. Like, I didn't get all my applications set and ready for med school, so I knew I had to take a gap year.
Yeah.
And I was talking to our strength coach, Coach Hen. I was like, yeah, I miss it. Like, I definitely want to come back.
Yeah.
I would have to figure it out, and I don't know if it'd be right for me. And the night before the first practice in summer one, Coach Oates called me, and he kind of was like, well, what are you thinking? Like, would you want to come back or not? Just be a good teammate, be a good leader, kind of the same stipulations that I was on before, of just trying to invest in my teammates, my brothers, like, you know, the young guys, making sure everybody's doing good. And I was like, you know what, to be to have, you know, the head coach pretty much say like, "Oh, I want you to be a part of our first national championship run." I think it made it. I couldn't say no.
No, definitely.
You know, with the door Coach Oates open for me, like it meant a lot for me. It meant a lot for me.
Yeah.
So I had to do it. There's no other choice for me.
No, yeah, we're definitely glad you're back. Before I kind of get into that, you're also a bio major, right?
Yeah, but I finished bio, but I was like I could have been a chemistry major.
Yeah,
also.
and this guy tried to say the GPA award wasn't that important. He's taking one of the hardest majors.
No, I don't.
In
I
college.
actually don't think I could name a bunch of majors that are harder, like chemical engineering. I think like some of the math majors are harder. Yeah. Any engineering is once you have to take like Calc 1, 2, and 3.
Mm-hmm.
I seen Calc 2 ruin some people's lives. But so I was fortunate enough to not have to take those, but obviously I did have to take like cell bio, biochem, organic chem 102, and then I don't know if anybody who's watching will know what those classes are, but most of those classes are the ones that pretty much encourage somebody to not be a doctor,
Yeah.
not change the field that they're in. But I was fortunate to do well in all those.
Well, obviously, like, I mean, I'm obviously new. This is my first year here at the University of Alabama, but I remember how like important you were for this team. And like, I remember I was talking to Oates, like, you need to come back, because in the summer you weren't sure kind of what's going to happen, but I was like, we need you back, bro. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think people kind of get it twisted. Like, everybody on the team like has a specific role, whether you're, for instance, like our Mark Sears,
Yeah, for sure.
or like your Max. Like, everybody has like a role, and like Max's role is equally, he's not going to agree with it, but in my opinion, I think it's equally and almost kind of more important, because like you need a guy that can help others.
Well, yeah.
Like help others, and like guys who serve. And that's kind of,
yeah, you need somebody who's okay with not playing every night. And obviously, like, you know, for like, you're really motivational because, man, I mean, you're at this level. You're as good as anybody else on the entire team. And obviously, like, you had some health issues, some other things that made you say, oh, I think red shirting will be best for myself and best for the team. Like, you continue to have that same attitude as if you were going to play, you know, in the championship tomorrow. Like, it never waves. I never questioned, oh, how bought in is this guy? But you need a couple guys who are just, hey, I'm going to make sure that everybody on the team is doing well. I'm going to make sure I'm looking out for, like, the young guys, make sure everybody's mind is right, because college basketball is stressful. Like, I've seen it really crush some people. It's easy to get in your own head. It's easy, just basketball in general, not even college basketball. It could really affect your mental. And if you don't have the right voices, and I'm not saying I'm the right voice for guys, but I do make sure to just constantly build up my teammates, because I know if I was in that position, I would want the support and like the love from my teammates that I try to give. At least I try my best.
Absolutely. So. You know, that is important. I've learned a lot of things from you. I think for me, I kind of have that same approach. Like, we talked about it. All that really matters in life is the type of person you are, like who you are as a person, how you treat others. Like, basketball is cool and all. I love basketball. And my approach is obviously going to be like, okay, even though I'm not playing, I'm not going to take any shortcuts. Like, I'm not going to let whatever my circumstances are define or change like the habits that I built throughout my whole life. So whether that's like watching the film, practicing as hard as possible, just trying to serve your teammates, because that's really all that matters. Like, whether you're the top guy or you're kind of lower on the totem pole, like, you still have a role of serving others, and that's like all life's about. And I feel like that's why me and you kind of vibe so well, because that's everything that I like, everything that you like.
You're just a lot better at hoops. But I you saying that, you know, don't get it twisted. Like, we as a team, we came to this tournament to win. For sure. Like, it's number one is and one of the best things is Coach Oates. He's hyper competitive about it.
Yeah,
about
definitely.
anything and everything. So it's the same you know, it's the same standard for the coaches as it is for the players, as it is for the managers, support staff. Everybody has the same common goal, but at the same time, I've seen, you know, some of the best people in this program, some of the best winners I've been around, you know, like Brandon Miller and Noah Clowney and guys like that, and JQ, like, they're elite people. Like, the love that they showed me as one of the, you know, I'm one of the worst players. Like, it's the standard is the same, how you treat people.
Absolutely.
And it should always be that way, no matter who you are, whether you're you or me, you know, whether you're going to play or you're not going to play. If you're not contributing to, like, the culture, then you're really taking away from the culture and hurting the team.
Yeah, I think we have like a lot of great people in the program. Like, I mean, everybody from the coaches to like G, Clark, Hen,
the support
JP,
staff,
Perk, like they all take care of us. Like they all, like if we need something, like they're the first to serve us. And like I think as players, like we do a good job serving them.
Yeah, just I blew out my ankle my second year. So you got to remember, is like I was probably, especially then, right, like the most irrelevant dude on the whole team.
Well, tell everybody how you got on the Alabama team to start, because I think it's kind of
I tried out. So it was COVID, and I had like, you know, like really small college opportunities to play out of high school, and it wasn't that I didn't think I was like above that. It was more so that I couldn't afford it with school. Like I needed the scholarship, and I had scholarship at Alabama academically, almost full tuition, so I only had to pay like my to live, and then like for my food and whatever. And so I was like, oh, I can't pass, like I have to go to Bama, because dude, I don't want to take out $150K of student loans or whatever.
Absolutely.
I can't afford that. And so I went to Bama. It was COVID, and like they had nothing going on. And my whole first year at Bama, I didn't play basketball for the team. And so I'm just like sitting in my dorm all the time. Like even the, what is it called? Like the dining hall wasn't open. Like you have to go get your food and bring it back to eat. You couldn't have more than one person in your dorm at a time. Damn. And I just remember, like, I don't want to say I made no friends, but I literally made no friends, because I was the only person from one person from my high school came from Chicago to Alabama. We weren't like close friends or anything like that. And so when my sophomore year rolled around, I was like, oh my, like I gotta change, like I gotta try to do something like that will be meaningful in my college journey. And this is when my younger brother Drew really started to get noticed, and he started getting really good at basketball. And I was like, dude, I don't want my little brother to get better than me at basketball. So or him to keep playing and I'm not playing. So somebody sent me I think it was an email or maybe a flyer for open tryout for Bama, and they're like, oh, are you going? And I was like, and at first I was kind of like on thinking about it or not. And then I was like, oh, like I have to, like, because the kid who asked me if he's going was like way worse than me. We had played basketball a couple times. And I was like, oh, I have to go and see if I can make it. And so I think there's like 30 people there, because you had to fill out a mountain of paperwork to do it. You could ask Clark about it. They really should do it again just so we can watch, because it's funny. It's so funny to watch that. But it's so much paperwork, and you have to get like blood work done, EKG, full physical. To be able just to try out. So that there's not like liability if somebody gets injured or God forbid has like a heart attack or something. So you have to do all that. And I remember my blood work got approved the day before the thing. I was like calling the doctor all the time saying like, oh, did you get the results back? Did you get the results back? They finally got it the day before the tryout. I go, and the tryout was literally, it was like 3-man weave to start, do 5 minutes of that. And then they call everybody in. There's 25 people, and they're like, we're going to do we're going to put an hour up on the clock, and we're going to just play like 5-on-5. Once you hit 7 points, like next team comes on, winner stay. And so my team started on, and I literally did not lose a single game. And I was playing so hard. I must have scored like, and it wasn't even like, I wasn't cooking the people.
Yeah.
I was getting like gritty buckets and getting like other people's rebounds or like tip ins and stuff like that, or just like pickpocket, get it, fast break on the other end. And so I got like 100 points, 100 rebounds, 50 floor dives, 25 steals. But I put up a crazy stat line of just playing so hard.
Yeah.
So hard. And then, and I was like, okay, like, I definitely made it to the second tryout. I had to have made it to the second one, right? And I remember, I got the call back like later that day. Hey, like you made it to the second tryout. The second tryout was just same thing. They dropped the ball, and it was, I think it was like 4-on-4 versus the four of the walk-ons who were on the team at the time, who are like I'm really close with now. JQ too, and
Delaney.
AC Delaney, and Tyler Barnes. Shout out Tyler Barnes, Hall of Fame walk-on. And so we played, and I don't think I got like cooked, but I did just all right. You know, I was playing against people who had been playing against like real deal college basketball players, and I was sitting in a dorm for a year. Sitting in a dorm eating like super shitty, sorry, just spit. Super shitty like college dorm food. And so I did just okay, and I was like, oh man, I don't think I made it. Like, I was kind of nervous, but then at the same time, like the other kids who were in the tryout, who were the other, 3 kids who got invited to the second tryout, I know that they did not do well either. So I was like, I might have just done okay, scored decent amount of points, hit some shots. So they were like, I got the call, and they're like, hey, no, that wasn't even true. They invited all the kids from the tryout, the 4 who made it to the second round, to stay for open practice. They were, or to watch the practice. They're like, hey, you made it this far, whatever. You put in a lot of work with all that paperwork and stuff like that and test results. So like, yeah, do you want to stay for practice? So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll stay. Worst case scenario, they call me. They're like, hey, by the way, you suck. Like, you're cut, and but thanks for coming out. So I'm like, yeah, I might as well just stay and watch like some of the best hoopers in college duke it out in practice, because you know how competitive Bama practices are. It's like a real game. Literally every single drill is a competition.
No, exactly.
So the other 3 kids from the tryout don't accept the offer to stay at the tryout, and they just leave and like go home or something. And I'm like, and I didn't even do it to be like political or to like, oh, I want them to know I'm committed. I literally just did it because I wanted to watch. Like, see how good they were, whatever, see what I thought. And at the end of practice, I'm like, well, it's over. I'm walking out. And the ops lady at the time, it was Alex. Yeah. Alex, super nice. I love her. She's at the tournament right now. But she's like, hey, come talk to Coach Oates real quick. And I was, oh, he's just going to thank me for coming out or whatever, And he's like, yeah, really excited to have you on the team this year. I think you'll be a great walk-on for us. And I was like, oh, no way. So that's when I found out I made it. And
that's dope.
I definitely was the worst guy on the team. Like, the other walk-ons are a lot better than me, but they all took me in to help me get, just keep on improving on my game. I think I've made a lot of strides. You just got to play hard, keep working.
Yeah, facts.
And so I was really appreciative of all the walk-ons, Tyler, Britton, AC, Delaney, Jaden. So it was like, those guys really brought me in and accepted me. Man, ever since then, you know, I was really fortunate. Like when you come into a system that has great walk-ons ahead of you, they just show you what to do. So like what you know me as of, you know, just trying to be a good guy, a good team leader was just all the things that I was shown by the guys who were ahead of me. They were all,
Yeah.
you know, they were all more experienced, more veteran guys. And then you just learn the standard of like, oh, this is how I have to behave. Like this is what I have to contribute. This is how I have to act in practice. And so it was easy for me. It was easy because I was just being shown that every day. And so like some of the times, like I really hope with, you know, walk-ons on our team that I show them what to do and show them be a good example. But I don't know if I do as good of a job as those other guys did with me. So I was really blessed to have those guys in my life and have them on the team. I know like Oates still talks. Like you probably never met TB and BJ, but you've heard their names before because that's like the lasting effect that they've had on the program.
No, yeah, I feel like you're not even just a great leader to walk-ons, but just like all the guys on our team.
Yeah, I hope. I try.
Oh, definitely. So pivoting, I mean, we're out here in Vegas for the Players era, kind of the first basketball games, pool play tournament of its kind.
Pool play event.
Yeah, pool play event.
Yeah, I think you gotta call it an event.
Event, yeah.
But
no tournament, event. So, but the event has been, I mean, it's been really cool. Like watching these games, especially, I mean, shoot, both games.
Yeah.
But opening night was crazy, especially watching it. Like, it's like, whew.
Well, they got 8 really like top tier teams.
Yeah, exactly.
To all compete, you know, with a cash prize for the winner. And so it doesn't surprise me why a bunch of these teams decided to come because you get, you know, an opportunity to have a cash prize for your NIL.
Yeah.
And you get to play like really good ranked opponents that are going to look good on your schedule. Regardless, not to say if you win or lose, but it's good preparation for postseason play.
Yeah.
So I think they've done a great job with the event, and it's only the first year.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
The event is going to grow.
And get better over time.
Continue to get better. They're going to, you know, keep polishing it, make it more final product. But
yeah,
I really wonder if, like, you know, next year you see 3 different, you know, companies or events come in and try to make a basketball event with a cash prize for the winner and stuff like that. Whereas, you know, now this is the only one. How will that affect these other tournaments? And
no, definitely. So kind of to give preface, so it's called the Players Era event. There's 8 teams. 8 teams are Alabama, Rutgers, Oregon, Texas A&M, Creighton,
San Diego State,
and Notre Dame.
Yeah.
So there was 2 pools, the Impact pool and the Power pool. So we played 2 games.
Are we in Impact or?
I don't remember which one we're in, but
I feel like we're in the Power.
Power. I think we are in the Power. So we played University of Houston first game, went into overtime.
Yeah.
That was a battle because they play a super physical brand of basketball. They're going to foul you 100 times a game.
They're going to contest
every pass, every shot. They're going to crash like crazy, and that's how they went. So Houston, I think they're ranked 8 or so right now. We're like preseason top 5, are picked to be Final Four like team, pretty sure.
Yeah.
They've won the most games in Division I over the past 5 years. So Kelvin Sampson's done an incredible job there.
Yeah,
they have an incredible team. Like the way they defend, I've never seen anybody else kind of guard like that.
They just fly around and make
plays. And like they make a ton of effort plays. So that game we won 85-80 in overtime. We were down 4 with like a minute to go.
Yeah.
Mark Sears hits a
Mark
huge
Sears
3.
showed why he's one of the Alabama legends.
Yeah.
One of the greatest of all time.
Huge 3. So then we cut it to 1. We fouled Jawan Roberts. He misses a free throw. Makes one, misses the second. We come down. Trelly gets fouled.
2 free throws.
2 free throws. We get a stop. We go into overtime. Now, I feel like once we got in the huddle, we play a super fast brand of basketball. So we're trying to fly up and down the court.
I knew though when we went to overtime.
Definitely.
I knew it was over.
The more possessions we have, the more the game's in our favor.
It's in our favor.
Especially with how much we run. Like we practice. Like we track our practices and it's like 3 times what a player load in the game is.
With how hard they play, I was I
They were,
was like, it's not
yeah,
sustainable.
it's not sustainable. You get exhausted.
I know it's sustainable how we play because we practice
So,
harder than we
yeah,
play.
exactly. So that's been fun. And then, so that was on Tuesday. The day before, we got here Sunday. On Monday, we did basically like events all day. We took photos. We did stuff for our collective. We went to like a golf tournament, took photos there.
Yeah.
We went to like a big dinner. All pretty cool events. Everybody super cool. So now fast forward, Tuesday happened. We beat Houston. Then we have a back-to-back against Rutgers, who has 2 projected top 3 picks right now in the draft. That was a game too. We started out kind of slow, and
they're good. Those 2 players, they're real deal from what I've seen.
Really good. Ace Bailey, I mean, super difficult shot maker.
Yeah, 6'10", athletic.
Yeah, 6'10", super athlete. But once again, another team playing super hard.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah.
I mean, they came ready. The cash prize motivates.
No, definitely.
Once they won that first nail biter against
Notre Dame,
like, you know, you really feel like you're in it. And they were beating us at halftime.
Yeah, they were.
I'm not going to say that they had us. We played bad. We didn't execute what we kind of
kept turning the ball
that
over.
We were going to do. Yeah, we turned the ball over. We were careless. But I mean, when you're playing for $1.5 million, it shouldn't be that way. Like, you should give the same effort no matter what. But I'm sure some dudes who maybe don't play that hard start playing a little harder.
Definitely. I remember, obviously, I don't know if you guys seen, but there was a clip of Trelly, one of our players, being like, "You guys won $1 million."
Yeah.
And like, that's a real statement, man. Like, that is a lot of money. Obviously, in the NIL age where like guys are making money now, but like,
it's still a lot of money once you split it up on a team.
Definitely. So
it could get a lot of Christmas shopping.
Yeah, a lot of Christmas shopping. But I mean, that was an incredible game that we ended up winning. We get on these like little runs, like these baby spurts, and then they would just come right back and right back.
Yeah,
that ended up being a close game. Darion Reed, I mean, and Jaron, what a performance at the end of the game to kind of seal that.
It's good to see some guys, I don't want to say have struggled, because I've seen what they've done in practice.
Yeah, for sure.
Maybe just they haven't had the games that they thought that they would have so far. And we all know they're super capable of it. So then you see them achieve that, you know, that makes you super happy.
Super happy.
Like that's really what it's about. You want to see people achieving their goals and their dreams and the steps that it takes to help get you there. And so to have guys like that, I mean, it hasn't been said, but it kind of goes unsaid, like Mo D.
Yeah, Mo D. I mean, shoot.
Mo D saved
damn near
us
the
in 2
player
games
of the tournament. The player of the
70
tournament
blue
so
collar
far.
points in 2 games, which is the blue collar is our metric for how hard you play. And 70 blue collar in 2 games is unheard of.
Insane.
Like, actually, I've probably never done before. So when you see guys who are really bought in, who are doing the right things, the game has to honor that.
Yeah,
it has
for sure.
to redeem that eventually. And it might not happen in the first game, the second game, third game. You know, for some of the guys, I think that was their 7th game. It took them 6 games to get going.
Yeah, to get going.
Once you see a couple shots fall, the lid kind of comes off from the basket. And
yeah, I think that says a lot about like kind of our team too. Like, we have so many good players, who could have like gone somewhere else and played more minutes, scored more points, probably made even more money. But like,
for sure,
everybody here, like in our program, like to have like the talent level, and not even just the talent level, but the guys who have already like proven they can be like, you know, productive in college, and then all the freshmen that have come in who are super productive in high school, and like come in and like all buy into like each other. Like we talk about this thing called Mudita. I think they put that on the team last year, which is like basically being happy for other success and being happy no matter what. So
it comes from Coach Murphy on the softball team. So I've known him for like 3 years. I didn't know him when I started out, but I met him at like a shaved ice place one day in the middle of the summer when I was there. We start talking. I find out that he's a softball coach. Like, we've just been talking ever since. He's a really good mentor, a really great leader.
Yeah.
And obviously, he's one of the most winning coaches in
NCAA,
not even just softball, but like as of all the coaches at Alabama.
Yeah, definitely.
Of all the coaches in the country, like, he's really, really good at what he does. His teams are always so good. And so that's kind of like the cornerstone that their program was built on. And so he came and talked to us last year about just no matter what's going on for you, can you be as happy for your teammate as you would be if it was you
Your
having
success,
the big moments. And so I've seen that a lot this season. Guys not having, the game they want. Maybe they're at the end of the bench. Some other guys are playing and they're cheering really,
Still
really
happy
hard
for each other, yeah. Like, man, like, I mean, talk about Mudita. I think Mudita played 3-ish minutes in the Illinois game before heading into this tournament.
1
And
minute
dude
in the
has-
first half
yeah.
had no. Hey, but this is not even us. Like, I'm not surprised that
No, not at all.
he did it because he's that level player.
Yeah.
It's so competitive here. It's really,
Yeah.
really hard to get on the court. It's really hard to play.
Yeah.
Just the nature of there's NBA players on Alabama this year, and there's really good college players and stuff like that. So it's not, your number may not be called every night.
Yeah.
But you always have to be ready.
Ready.
You always have to be willing to give your maximum effort, even if it's only for a minute or 2 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
If I get in for a minute at the end of the game and we're up 30, I still want to give my maximum effort because I don't want to let anybody down. I don't want to let my teammates and my coaches down by letting the other team score
Absolutely.
like 2 buckets in that time. Like I still want to do good, and that's a big part of the program is no matter what time and score is, no matter what your role is, like you better do your role. You better contribute to the team. You better care about each other. That's something that you can't say about every college team.
No, yeah, definitely.
There's selfish people. There's a
lot of selfish people.
There's been selfish people at Bama. There's selfish people everywhere, but I think we got a really good group. I think we got a great group who are bought in for each other.
Yeah, kind of that Mudita thing. I remember when I was on my visit, like I had talked to Hen about that. And like I have a word tattooed on my arm that says agape. And what agape is, it's a biblical term and it means like God's love, like unconditional love. So no matter what the condition is, if you do me wrong or if you betray me, like I still have love for you. Like there's no condition that will make me not love you. And Mudita kind of
pretty much like kind of the same as
Mudita. Exactly.
Or synonyms.
And when he and like Coach Oates and like Coach Pannone and Preston, like we all talked about it. And I was like, yeah, man, that's like, once I heard that, I was like, this is the place I want to be. Because that's like everything. That's what matters most to me. But I think, going back to it, like Mo D, I mean, what a 2 performances, like legacy type performances.
He had double in both games. I think the first game he had like 14 and 16.
Yeah.
Dude, people forget he played in that really good conference in New York of all those private schools, and he was the player of the year there.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of NBA players that have come out of that conference.
Exactly.
So he's a big time player in high school, and obviously last year he had a little bit of a different role. He was a younger player, and we brought him in to play defense, play really, really hard, and offensive rebound. And he's definitely showing like, wow, that may be the cornerstone of his game right now.
Yeah.
He can put the ball on the ground. He can get out in transition. He's gonna make strength threes.
Definitely.
He's gonna make that extra pass. He's just trying to play the right way and play hard.
Coach Oates kind of always says, he says, like, if your mindset's like about the right shit, like good things take care, like the game takes care of itself.
Yeah.
If you're playing super hard and all you're worried about is like, damn, how can I help my team win?
You gotta get lost in the game.
You get lost in the game. And that's so facts. Because like all you're worried about is winning. And then like it's crazy once like people start to do that, then like, oh shoot, I'm open for a shot, let me just shoot this.
You're not thinking about what anybody, or you're not thinking about the arena, the environment. You're just thinking about what's on the court.
Yeah. And then we got to so like obviously I'm not playing right now. You've gotten in. You got
I got in one. I thought my teammates sold me a little bit. I thought I was going to get into a couple more. But
definitely.
A couple of these, some of the mid-major teams we played early on are pretty good. Yeah. They made a little comeback against us. And
we played a super hard schedule.
I thought we were going to kind of widen the gap that we had at half. But I don't really get bothered because I I actually don't care how much I play or how little I play, because as long as we're winning, I'm good with it. But obviously, like, I would like our margin of winning, margin of victory to be more.
Yeah.
You know, if we win by more, it means the team's really playing good.
Yeah, definitely.
But, you know, I think we've been winning. We obviously lost the
Yeah.
one at Purdue, which,
That was
we
an insane
figured
environment.
out. Yeah, that was one of the craziest environments. Probably the craziest environment I've ever, for like a single game, not like
Yeah.
tournament play. That's got to
Also,
be one of the toughest places
definitely.
to play.
That place is so. The fans weren't mean though. That was interesting. They were
No,
pretty.
they're just loud.
They're just loud.
Real
Like that thing was.
respectful people.
Yeah.
Just good,
Definitely.
like Midwesterners.
So tomorrow we play Oregon,
Mm.
in like the Players Era Championship. So that should be exciting.
Yeah,
I
I'm
know
excited.
we'll be definitely prepared. We'll be locked in to go out there,
Got a
take
good
care of
team.
business, and win this game. I think we have like a lot of good team. It's been good. A lot of guys' families have been out here, so that's mostly what everybody's been doing in Vegas is just kind of hanging with their families, especially on like this downtime we get.
Yeah.
But obviously we have practice in around like an hour or two, so that should be a lot of fun. But yeah, Oregon's next. Got to take care of business. Hopefully we
Yeah.
get the chance. I believe we'll get the chance to win this money, and win this tournament or event, and everybody will be
yeah.
happy.
They've got a good little team.
Yeah, they have a really good team. Oregon's always super consistent. We played them my freshman year. We ended up losing by like 5 when they had like Will Richardson.
Yeah.
And but they're always just they play
Their
super
Yeah,
hard.
their talent's always
They're
been good,
talented.
too.
They have like a lot of size. They play really good.
Yeah, they always have real bigs,
Yeah.
like real
Exactly.
7-footers.
It's kind of funny, like
Because we
especially-
played them. We played them last year, and they had a bunch of like
Yeah.
6'4", 6'5"
Exactly.
combo
Yeah,
guards,
guards.
and then like real big dudes.
real bigs. And like Nate
Couple
Biddle.
good point guards.
Nate Biddle was my teammate for AAU
Really?
for my last 2 years of AAU. Yeah. Well, one of the years got canceled because of COVID, but it's been good.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's all
Wait,
good.
what team did you play for?
West Coast Elite Under Armour circuit.
Oh,
But then but before that, I was with the Oakland Soldiers when I was living in the
Dang.
Bay Area.
generational.
Yeah, no, it's been a lot of fun. Well, I just want to thank StudioPlace again, for providing this opportunity. I think it's great. Like, it's a great place to express yourself. And more importantly, it's a great place to just sit down and have a conversation with the people you love and just learn about people. So I appreciate you, Max.
Yeah.
Max Scharnowski, everybody, for coming on the podcast. And
Appreciate you guys for having me on.
next time, catch Hanging with Huey.